Hello, everyone. We are from Team Nostrum. I'm Trishti Goyal, Chief Editor at the Nostrum. And today we have with us Dr. Shrikant Sharma, Department of General Medicine at Moorchand Hospital, Delhi. And hello, sir. We are today going to ask you a few questions about COVID vaccines, since we're doing a roundup on COVID vaccines for the next week. So, what are the severe adverse reactions that you have documented till now, and how are they managed?
Say again, I couldn't get you.
What are the severe adverse reactions that you have noticed or come across till now, and how have the doctors managed it?
See, severe is anaphylactic shock. So for that, management is we keep the patient for 30 minutes there in waiting room to check whether the patient is getting shock or bronchospasm or skin rashes or vomiting, nausea or any drowsiness. So if more than 2 systems are involved, then it is anaphylactic shock. 2 system meaning GI system if involved, there will be nausea, vomiting, pain abdomen, diarrhea. If the heart is involved, then there will be hypotension, tachycardia. If respiratory system is involved, then there will be bronchospasm. If CNS will get involved, there may be drowsiness. If skin will get involved, then there will be multiple skin rashes. So out of these 5 systems, if 2 systems are involved severely, then it is called as anaphylactic reaction. And this is the most serious reaction. Except this, there are so many other reactions like flaring up of autoimmune diseases. Like in psoriasis will get flared up. In SLE or in rheumatoid arthritis or in some kind of any type of autoimmune disease, it has been seen that the joint pain or the activity of the disease will get flared up. And besides this, there are so many like tenderness at the site of the injection, erythema at the site of injection. There will be fever, myalgia. Those are the commonest. Fever, myalgia, joint pain, and weakness, nausea, little nausea. And if fever is there, then fever-related symptoms like headache, those kind of dizziness, those kind of symptoms you may get. But these symptoms will get resolved within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay, sir. So, are there any conditions in which the COVID-19 vaccines are contraindicated?
See, actually, if somebody has got reaction due to this vaccine prior, then only it is contraindicated. Otherwise, nowadays the dictum is it should not be contraindicated. Relative, you can say relatively, if you can avoid for few days, then the conditions are like active inflammatory diseases, like if the diabetes is uncontrolled, if the hypertension is uncontrolled, if the cardiac angina is there already, if the activity of SLE and autoimmune diseases are high, then those conditions you can delay, but those are not the contraindications.
Next, sir, can a patient avoid the first or second dose of the vaccine if they are already infected with COVID? Or what happens if the person gets COVID after the first dose?
If somebody has COVID, then they can delay the vaccination for maybe 4 to 12 weeks. If somebody has got first vaccination and then get COVID, then also they can delay this for 4 weeks to 12 weeks. They can, but they will take the vaccine thereafter.
So, does getting vaccinated lower the transmission or infectivity of the virus if you get COVID after the vaccine? Like, is the infectivity reduced?
See, if you have gone for taking the vaccine, and there so many people are there, somebody has given you this COVID. So you have been vaccinated as well as you got the COVID. So you got 2 stimulation. So the disease may aggravate. You understand? Yeah. So that's why one has to be very cautious when going to vaccination, seeing that the distance should be maintained and he should wear proper double masking so that he will not get corona from that place.
Okay, sir. So what if like you get COVID after the vaccine? So now will the viral load in my body be relatively less, or say it will be less infective? I'll be less infective to others.
No, it's not like that. You mean that somebody has got vaccine and then infected?
Yes.
You mean that?
Yes, sir.
If somebody has got vaccine, the immunity will only develop. It has been seen that the immunity will only develop after 2 weeks of the second dose of the vaccine.
Okay.
After first dose of vaccine, he may get immunity, but the immunity may not be sufficient to protect him from the disease.
Yes.
And after getting one, suppose after 1 month of this vaccine, somebody is getting the disease, then it has been thought that probably he may get more immunity in his body, but not necessarily that he will be more infective or anything like that.
So what is the idea behind mass vaccination, and how long do you think it will take for us to reach herd immunity?
So herd immunity one can get if 60 to 70% people will get the immunity. Like in America, they say now masking is not legal because they have already achieved 40% vaccination and around 20 to 30% infectivity. Though people have got infection around 20 to 30%. So it is reaching somewhere around 60 to 70% people having immunity. So that is herd immunity. If you get such kind of herd immunity, then probably the mass will get immune to the same disease. And the more quick you will get that, chances of mutation of that virus will be lesser. So nowadays, because India is a big country, mutation takes place because you will delay in giving vaccination or infection to so many people, 130 crores of people. So that's why if mass vaccination, as you are telling, is done very fast, then you are not giving chance to the virus to get mutated. So you should vaccinate people fastly till vaccination will reach around 40%. And by that time, already 20 to 30% people have got infected and got the immunity. So then you can get the herd immunity. Then only you are free from the COVID.
So do you think the vaccines have any long-term health risks?
See, as other vaccines, this vaccine has not been trial for long term. So it is very difficult for this particular vaccine to tell that long-term effect, what is the long-term effect. But as we have seen in other vaccines, that long-term few means in lakhs, 1 digit in lakhs. So maybe less than 10, you can say, people are getting Guillain-Barré, transverse myelitis, those kind of things one may get, but it is very, very rare. So we may expect this from this vaccine, but it is like other vaccines. So we cannot give much importance to this particular vaccine for that.
WHO does not recognize Covaxin if you want to travel abroad. They want people to get Covishield. And people are now deciding between Covishield and Covaxin. So do you think that there should be any particular vaccine that people should take?
So any vaccine available you should take. It is true that till WHO has not decided, maybe after 3 months, or the process is going on, maybe he will accept after 2-3 months that this also should be recommended. But till that time, if somebody wants to go abroad, then he should take Covishield. As per efficacy is concerned, then both are almost equally effective, you can say. So anybody getting a chance, if he is not going abroad within this 2-3 months, then he can take any one among them. And as per the side effects are concerned, then side effects are seen more in Covishield than Covaxin. Effectivity almost same, you can say, in both the cases.
So do you think any medication should be stopped after taking after the vaccination, like blood thinners or say coagulants, anticoagulants? Should they be stopped after taking the vaccine?
See, rather it is opposite, because this vaccine, you can say, is pre-thrombogenic, mildly pre-thrombogenic. And if you stop this anticoagulant or aspirin, antiplatelet or clopidogrel, what the patient was taking before, because of some cardiac disease or some cerebral vascular stroke, then the problem will be more, because this is prothrombogenic, and once you will stop those drugs, patient will become prothrombogenic. So two factors for prothrombogenic, and the things may get precipitated. So rather you should take these drugs before taking the vaccine. This is important. Second, what drugs should be stopped? So this drug we are giving, this vaccine we are giving to increase the immunity. So if somebody has got less immunity, then he may not get the defensive, his defensive mechanism will be lesser, and he may not improve antibodies. So if somebody is taking steroid or immunosuppressive drugs, some kind of depressing to immunity drugs, then he should stop those drugs mostly for 2 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks, you can say, before, and 2 to 4 weeks after taking the vaccine. Okay, so that proper immunity will get formed in the body, and then he can continue off his own drugs.
The last two questions. So one, have you seen a difference between the symptoms of people who have been vaccinated and who have not been vaccinated? Like how they present for COVID?
No, if somebody has been vaccinated already, like I told, 2 doses and 2 weeks thereafter, this is called vaccinated. Then if he will suffer from COVID, and if he is not immunosuppressed person, then he will suffer from mild kind of COVID only. And mild too, you can say, little moderate, you can say, but he will not get admitted in the hospital. Such a mild that he will not get admitted in the hospital or in the ICU. This has been seen that the effectivity, suppose some vaccine has got 90% effectivity, that means 90% of people getting vaccinated will not get admitted in the hospital or in the ICU. So they will get only the milder type of this COVID. So what is the danger is they will get, but they will spread it to their co-members or family members or friends, etc. So that is the danger, that they will spread it. And in future, this virus will get mutated. So that's why even if somebody has got vaccinated, they should put mask while going outside, and they should keep proper distancing also, so that they will not get again reinfected.
Okay, sir. So like we have gotten 2 doses of vaccination. Most of the medical students have. So do you think that in the future we will require another dose anytime soon?
See, till now, it has been seen that the 3rd dose is not required, but few countries, they have started giving the 3rd dose also. But for us, it is too soon to predict this. Maybe the time will say, because as the time will go, the proper antibodies measurement is going on. So till which time this is persisting, we never know at this time. Maybe this we will be able to know after few months or maybe few years, so that we will decide whether the 3rd jab, a booster jab, is you need or you don't need.
Okay, sir. So lastly, would you like to give a message on COVID to the readers of our journal?
No, COVID is mantras, 3 mantras: masking, washing hands, and distancing. These are the 3 mantras. So if you do these 3, it is better for you, it is better for the country, it is better for the humanity, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.